has two new Bluetooth earbuds at two different price points, but how do you choose which one's right for you?
This is Powerbeats Pro versus AirPods.
The new AirPods cost $160, while the Powerbeats Pro are $250.
The AirPods come in white, while the Powerbeats are white, navy, moss, and black. Both clip into their cases for storage and charging.
The Powerbeats, for me, are much more low maintenance, and I can leave them in all day and not worry about them because I know when they're in my ear, and the design definitely won me over, probably because of the color.
The color is one of the big things that I really wish that the next generation of AirPods would address. I mean, I can cover it with my hair, but as you were saying, I again constantly worried about brushing it out.
And there are a lot of people who the AirPods don't work for.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
maybe that's when the Powerbeats would be helpful because they have the optional different ear tips. So you can kind of find one that fits for you.
It's the Powerbeats case. You put it side by side with the AirPods, which is so mini and small and compact, and it's just...
And it's not just big, it's really heavy too.
It's definitely not a comfortable thing to be carrying around, say if you're going on a workout, putting it in your pocket. It's just, you cannot do that.
But it's a really nice ring case, Lexy.
Oh, I say yes.
It does remind me of like a makeup compact or a ring case.
It definitely does.
You know?
It doesn't look like it should be carrying earbuds.
I will say the one redeeming quality, because I'm gonna go on a limb and defend this massive thing, is that because these aren't as fragile and as small as the AirPods, I didn't really take the charging case with me as much as I take the charging case for the AirPods with me. So what I would do is I would leave it in my purse and then just take these and put them in my pocket because I'm not afraid of losing them as much. And honestly, the AirPods, you know, I have a toddler and I get really busy, and so sometimes I don't have time to put them in the case and I put them in my pocket, and that's where things get lost. These I'm not as worried about.
Both pair automatically with an iPhone when you first open the case. Android users can also pair the buds manually by pressing the button and connecting through the settings menu. For storage and charging, each has a case with a lightning port. The AirPods also have an optional wireless charging case that costs extra. Only the AirPods can be located with the Find My iPhone app. So the main way to control playback on both of these buds when you don't have your phone within easy reach is to use tap controls on the AirPods or the physical buttons on the Powerbeats. I like the tap controls because it was really easy to customize them to my liking, whereas on the Powerbeats, you can't customize it. And I found when I was positioning the Powerbeats in my ear, I was accidentally pressing on that button from time to time. Muscle memory finally kicked in, and then I really ended up liking the buttons as well. And the volume rocker on the Powerbeats is fantastic too.
I think that's why the Powerbeats take this one, in my opinion, just because of that volume rocker. And the nice things about the Powerbeats is that yes, you cannot customize it, but they both have the same commands on each side. That said though, I hung up on people many times because you just graze it and it presses the stupid Powerbeats button that either pauses your track or hangs up on someone.
My favorite was when you hung up on your boss.
Yeah, twice.
And tried to explain that to him. That was pretty funny.
I was like, I swear I'm reviewing them.
As for Siri control, it pretty much works the same on both of them. It's nice to have it, but it's not a big feature for me anyway.
Right, definitely not a deal breaker.
What it might be an issue though is the kind of water resistance. So IPX4 on the Powerbeats, nothing on the AirPods. So I mean, you're not going to go swimming with them, obviously,
no.
But like in terms of really sweaty workout, the Powerbeats are custom made for that.
However, we do walk in the rain a lot, and that's where I've been concerned about the AirPods. Mm-hmm. That, and I've also found the AirPods in my toddler's mouth, and that's where water resistance would help. So, like I said, I think because they're all-terrain, I prefer the Powerbeats, and I like that feature, even though not for the reason it was intended.
The Powerbeats, the four-wheel drive of earbuds.
Yes.
Now it's time to talk sound and call quality. Apple says sound quality was top priority when designing the new Powerbeats.
Now, the other reason you may want to splurge on the Powerbeats is because they do tend to have a richer sound quality. I know a lot of people complain that the AirPods don't have the best sound quality, and a lot of that is because they have that open design that lets in a lot of ambient noise. The Powerbeats are definitely going to have more sound isolation. For me, it was the perfect amount of sound isolation because some of the issues I've had with the in-ear design in the past are that they just block out way too much sound. And so this one, I feel like it's not that complete sound isolation that you would want from the over-ear, but it does have enough so that the sound is better than the AirPods, but also it's not complete so you can still not get run over on a run.
Oh, I have to say I was expecting more from the Powerbeats in terms of the default sound profile. For me, I don't think it's worth the extra amount of money that I would spend over the AirPods. As with all other Beats headphones, these ones are no different. They are really heavy on the bass. I did find they sounded best when I was listening to contemporary music, R&B, well no, like, current stuff,
Yes.
R&B stuff that, that's in the charts. I played Childish Gambino's Redbone, which just was amazing. I was like, oh, this sounds great in the Powerbeats. And then I played like a classical song. It actually sounded just as fine in the AirPods. But what about call quality?
Yeah, call quality, we tested both out. You called me, Lexy, using both of them, and you sounded clear on the Powerbeats, but the AirPods did a better job at isolating your voice. And we've talked about this. This might be because of that design.
You can point it a bit more towards your mouth and it isolates a little bit better than the Powerbeats, which was letting in a lot more ambient.
They were both fairly good though, I will say that much.
And from my end, you sounded just a little bit better in the Powerbeats than the AirPods. It was much for muchness, but it does make sense considering you were just blocking out more of that external sound.
As for battery life, the AirPods are pretty much the same as the first generation. 5 hours of playback, but you do get extended call time. While the Powerbeats Pro say you can get about 9 hours before you need to recharge in the case.
So when it comes to the battery, Apple says that each of them will give you around 24 hours of total battery life, but that is lab world. That is not real world. So you've done a bit of real world testing with them. How did you find the battery life went for you?
So, I mean, like you said, at the end of the day, you're going to get the same battery life for both because they both, with the charging case, provide the same. The difference, and I think this is key, is that the Powerbeats by themselves, without the charging case, they last longer. So, to me, having the larger battery in the actual devices is more important, especially because I didn't want to be carrying around the case. The AirPods, however, I do feel like I have to carry around the case all the time with me, not just because of the smaller design that I'm worried that they will, I will lose them, but also because I want to be able to charge them just in case.
I think the Powerbeats definitely win this one for me just because you don't have to constantly be putting them back in the case if you are doing longer activities, work days.
No wireless charging.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but for $250, I kind of would expect that case to have wireless charging built in. Like, it's kind of a no-brainer, really. Both the earbuds have Apple's latest H1 chip and Bluetooth 5 support.
So, Lexy, we've prepared a couple challenges for these guys today. First up, the headbang challenge. I feel like I need to try those because maybe your ears are fitted.
That's true, I've got a headache now. Okay, let's swap. All right, 3, 2, 1.
They're not falling out. Okay, I have newfound faith in these.
To test out the range of these earbuds, I am going to take the AirPods.
And I'm going to take the Powerbeats, and we're going to walk across this field and stop when the signal cuts out. You ready?
Ready? 3, 2, 1, play. Oh. I've cut out. Well, I mean, you win.
So it seems like this time around the Powerbeats won, but it really hasn't been consistent. We tried this a few times before.
Yeah, and the first time we weren't wearing wireless microphones and we actually got all the way to the other end of the field. The second and third times, the AirPods won the second time and the Beats won the time that we were filming. So
We'll call it a tie.
I think so. Okay, so we've come to the crunch point of the episode. Is it Powerbeats Pro or AirPods that win for you?
This time I have a clear winner, which doesn't happen often.
Oh.
Lexy. And for me, and I'm usually the cheap one, which doesn't make sense, but I'm going to go against everything that I stand for, and I'm going to choose the Powerbeats Pro.
Ooh.
Just because, A, the battery lasts longer, but that clip-on design that can stay on my ear all the time, and I don't have to worry how much I bang my head, how much I run, how much I chase after a toddler. They're always going to be on my ear, and they just keep up with me.
Okay, so this is the cheap crown, and I am putting it on my head because my winner is the AirPods, because I'm cheap. I definitely don't want to be spending $250 on wireless earbuds. Powerbeats will fit some better than the AirPods and vice versa. For me, I actually preferred the fit of the AirPods. They weren't as secure when I was, say, like running around, but in terms of all-day comfort, it was better for me to wear the AirPods than the Powerbeats. And I like that I could customize the tap controls a bit more on the AirPods. Couldn't do that on the Powerbeats, so I kind of did miss that. So it's the AirPods for me.
Okay, but that's our opinion. What do you guys think? Let us know your pick on the comment section below or tweet us, you know the drill. And then also tell us what you want to see us compare next time on Versus. Making sure they're on. Sorry, I just, ouch, I just pressed the play button and it like rang and it was full blast in my ear. Yeah. We're talking about that.
We need to talk about that. That's an important thing we're going to talk about later.